It is our Saturday show. Normally, I have a bunch of handicappers that pop in. To be honest, I don't even know who's coming today, but I think we have less than a handful. So we could spend a little time with everybody else, and we could spend a little time just doing our own thing here. But it's Saturday. We got a gigantic slate of college basketball. We have some of the biggest rivalries in the game, and some not so big rivalries, but just big matchups today as well. So really nice slate of college basketball. We've got East versus West in the NBA with the Knicks taking on the Lakers, and some other games on the card as well. And then is today the NHL All-Star game, or
it is?
So
it is.
So
that's exciting.
I watched the skills competition. I did not hear the music that you were talking about.
They didn't play the music?
They didn't. I did not hear it. I watched the skills competition.
Yeah.
Brutally boring. And I have to say, boring. Oh, it's horrid.
You didn't see the mascots then? The mascots were fun.
It was one of the worst shows I think I've ever seen.
Okay.
It was so bad.
I liked it.
It was like even so like the sharpshooting contest, where they hit the plates or whatever, like they used to do it in 4 shots. Now it's like, these guys, they can't even hit the plate. It's like.
We got to remember, they've been out in Vegas for a couple of days.
Yeah, well, Ray Bork did it. Ray Bork traditionally did it in 4 shots, like year after year after year.
Yeah.
And like the hardest shot competition, like, it was like they had like 3 guys in it. Like Al McInnes used to get in there and he used to think the puck was going to go through the back of the net.
Oh, absolutely.
It was like totally different. And on the speed skating, back, the guys, they just seemed faster. There was the guy, oh man, who was the guy on the Blackhawks? Patrick Sharp, right? Just like blazing fast. It was like, it just seemed to be lacking. And then like even the one that they did outside, the players are complaining that it's cold, it's like they're just standing there like, oh, it's really cold out here. It's like nothing fun about that,
Yeah, that's not cool. They're sitting there complaining. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think they've had a couple of days of too much fun in Vegas and weren't really there for the competitions.
I don't know. I think that, a lot of the guys, they said they were there with their families and, they had friends that had come and stuff like that. But I just don't think that, I think there was maybe too many, like the NBA just has a few things, right? So they have like the 3-point shooting, the dunk contest. They try other skills competition like here and there. It's never like quite as big as the dunk and the 3-point shooting. But in the NHL, it used to be, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Someone in the green room turned on their music.
Yeah. I think it's Big Al. Got some tech issues, probably going to get thrown off YouTube on that one. We'll have to edit it out. But, yeah. I don't know, Joe. I did not hear any of the music, though, that we talked about before. And they even said it during the broadcast, that the black and yellow, they even said that. And I still could not hear it. I didn't. And like, you would think Led Zeppelin, Whole Lotta Love, I would have heard that, but I did not hear it.
Strange.
How about the thing where the goalies are supposed to block the shots where the 2 guys pass it? Or they kind of, the guy skates in and they take the shot. It's like, that should be like 90% of the time they score.
Right?
It should be 90% of the time. A breakaway, like a shootout type goal should be 90% plus. They hit like 8%.
But these goalies are so good as well.
No chance. No chance against an NHL player. I've told this story before, and I know it's a different thing, but in college, I went to a hockey school, right? I went to Boston University. It was a hockey school. My roommate was the captain of the team. He was really good. He got thrown out. He beat up some guy in the dorm. He played Division II. He ended up playing in the NHL for the Sabres, but that's the thing. And some guy in a bar who played in like a bar league as a goalie said, I could block, your shots or whatever, right? And he's like, they bet like $100 that he could score 100 in a row on this guy.
Yeah.
And he did it no problem. He was doing it behind the back, between the legs, like up, top shelf, bottom shelf. Like it was just picking, apart. And these guys should be able to do the same thing. And that's what I'm saying is like, is the skill level of the NHL player not where it was? Because Ray Bourque, when it came to hitting those plates, he never missed, right? He never missed. It was like bang, 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 like 2 seconds. It was like, wow, you know? And I don't know, maybe I was younger, so more impressed with it, but I don't know. I just don't think that.
I think maybe the goalies have stepped up, though. I think we're getting better quality goalies than we used to. I think that's what it is.
I don't know if Keller lit him up, you know, he had no problem.
That's true.
Because he's a Boston University guy, right? So he had no problem doing it.
There we go. I like it.
Yes. They even said it on the thing. Be Terrier.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for the 3-on-3 games, though, today. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'll be not watching. I'll be watching the 5-on-5 on the hardwood. That's for sure.
Go.
I don't know. I didn't love it.
You gave it a try. That's what counts.
There was nothing on TV either. I mean, there was nothing. And I figured, all right, I'm going to throw this on, you know?
Yeah. Did you watch any of the NFL stuff yesterday with the All-Stars?
Oh, God, no.
There was one of the guys, and I can't remember who. I'm drawing a complete blank. He did the Buffalo Bills jump onto a table, right? Catching the ball, flying onto a table. It was pretty cool to see. So I had that on right before I went on Puck and Crazy, so it was kind of muted there.
So here's the thing: is the goalies? What in the comments are saying the goalies are just bigger than they used to be. That's true. That I believe too. Yeah, the Bellagio skills competition was cringe. It was terrible.
Oh, I thought they would have done a better job of that. I really did.
It was terrible. It was like you couldn't even see what was going on. Like, what was the point? Like, I saw one where they had to hit it in the net, and then the other one, and I watched the whole thing. You know, this is, and with the sound, which everyone knows I never do, like when sports are on. And it's like, I watched it with the sound because I couldn't understand what the hell was going on here. And then there's another one, it's like just a platform, so they had to, was the idea to land the puck on this platform?
Yes, it was. You had to get the puck onto the platform. So
some guy that's been, I don't know, hitting a hockey puck since he's 2 years old can't hit a puck 15 feet onto a platform. I mean, I don't know. Is this supposed to be like a big skill or something? You know?
I don't know. I think it was just all for the crowds.
There was, right? I don't think anyone could see it.
No.
On that part. My wife happened to be in Vegas. She said you couldn't even see it. You know?
Oh, okay, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it's like it didn't make any sense. I'm really not sure what was going on there.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did have it on. I didn't have the sound on. It's kind of playing in the background.
Yeah,
I got some stuff done last night.
It was definitely not a good program. I don't think it painted the NHL in the positive light that they need.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's NFL has to do, NHL has to do something different for sure.
Well, it's like they need to bring in a different crowd, you know, and they're not doing that. So it makes it, I don't know. That's not going to do it. You know, we'll just say that. Anyways, let's bring in Ron Romanelli.
Sounds good.
Ron, good morning. How are you?
Hello. I have to agree. You know, I'm a big hockey fan myself, but man, that was miserable last night. I was watching the Bellagio skills, and it was cringe. It was like the players didn't want to be there. I think if they wanted to, they would just jump into the water and swim back to land. It was just tough to watch. It was really bad, but I turned it off after that and put on Niagara, Manhattan. I think that was a lot more interesting.
How about the hardest shot competition, okay?
Yeah.
You got a bunch of guys that are like 5'7", 5'8", like, you know, center types, right? Finesse players. And then you have one like defenseman who's like 6'7". I wonder who's going to win.
Yeah. I mean, Adam Pelech, the Islander, he's got a pretty hard. He's got second place, but I don't know what Timo Meier was doing. He's a forward. I didn't even know he had a tough slap shot. I mean, Victor Hedman, that was his game to lose. I couldn't even believe it was the contestants that they put up there.
Yeah.
But it should have been Ovechkin if he didn't get into COVID protocol. That would have been interesting to see. But yeah, Hedman had that one all day.
I don't know if you've ever seen Al McInnes, but man, that guy could really fire it. I mean, it would be like, you would think the back of the net, was going to come off. He hit it so hard. It was like, I'm pretty sure he won it a bunch of times. I'll have to look it up. But anyways, there's a lot of games going on today, that's for sure. It's kind of like there's some rivalry games, like you have Duke, Carolina, then you just have some good games like Baylor, Kansas, and Arizona, USC. You've got, just some real highlight games across the board, from start to finish. Illinois, Indiana is an interesting game. You have, Purdue, Michigan. It's kind of, this is Michigan's time that they could possibly get on the map here, but they're up against it. That Boiler team is, whew. It's like they don't have a style, right? So it's like very hard to pick them apart when, they don't have really a specific style that they play. They kind of do everything well. They're big, they're small, they shoot from the outside. They can, they got a 7'4" guy in the middle. They got it pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's what you need for a championship contender, just a little bit of everything.
Al McKinnis played 23 seasons.
Wow. 23 seasons? That's crazy.
Known for the power and accuracy of his slap shot. Man, it was the hardest shot. Traditional wouldn't say he continued to win the hardest shots despite competing. So he played. He played with a different style of stick, but he still always played with the traditional style stick, and he still won.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, that like they continued to win with technologically inferior wooden sticks. He won the event 7 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I remember. It's like, it was always over 100. Like his lousy shots were over 100.
With a wooden stick, that's crazy.
Wow.
Hall
of Famer. First player ever from Nova Scotia to go into the Hall of Fame.
There we go. I learned something new today.
He played for Calgary, Joe.
Yep.
And St. Louis.
Didn't know he was from Nova Scotia originally.
Well, he is. Anyways, what are you looking at today, Ron?
Recently I've been doing, for college hoops, I've been doing blowout winners on the premium area. I've been doing pretty good with those. This is a play that I think could have made the premium section for a blowout winner. It's the game between Western Michigan and Ohio in the MAC now. I think Western Michigan has got to be the worst team in the MAC by far. They're really one of the worst teams in the country. They're 4-18 overall. They've only had 2 wins against Division I teams, and both of those came in overtime. So they haven't won a road game all season. They are 0-11 in conference play, and they're 354th in the nation in adjusted defensive efficiency, one of the worst defensive teams in the nation. You think, all right, well, if they have a solid offense, that can kind of balance that out. They're pretty bad on offense as well. Not a good shooting team. They turn the ball over way too much. They barely get to the free throw line. They're not good when they get to the free throw line. So this is just a real bad Western Michigan team. Ohio, we know, the defending MAC champions. They're 18-3 overall, 9-1 in conference play. Their only loss was Toledo at home, and that was a blowout loss, but Toledo, one of the stronger teams in the conference. You look at the first matchup between these two, Western Michigan and Ohio, it was a 59-47 final score, so it was only a 12-point win for Ohio. But you look at that game, somehow Ohio was able to win the game by 12 points despite shooting 13% from 3. They went 3 of 22 from 3. They shot 66% from the free throw line and 48% from 2-point range. So all those numbers are far less than what Ohio's averaging on the season. They just plainly had a bad shooting performance. They still won the game by double digits. Now they're home. They're playing well. They've scored 80 or more in their last 2 games. I think they put up 80 again in this one, maybe even 90. Western Michigan, it would be tough to see them get to 60. So I think this is a blowout win for Ohio. I know you got to lay a lot of points, but I think this is a 25-point win for Ohio here. So I'll lay the points with the Bobcats.
Joe, Ohio scrubbed me the last time they played. They were up by 30 and put the scrubs in early, ended up not covering the spread, winning easily. And they even said, the announcers, and another one that I for some stupid reason, listened to the game. Announcers like, oh, at the next buzzer, here come the walk-ons, and it sure did. And
Damn announcers.
yeah, it was like because I was already mad. It's like I'm up. I'm still covering, and I'm mad. And so Ohio once again at home and in a blowout situation. I mean, they're going to win, and they're going to be up very, very big in this game.
Yeah.
We're seeing some really high-scoring games right now at this time of year. We saw last night, Toledo. Ron mentioned Toledo. That Toledo-Ball State game. Ball State, when they had 68 points in the game, at the point they had 68 points in the game, they had 6 players with 10 points, with over 10 points at that point, which is, you'd never see it. I think they were 8 of 9 from 3 to start the game. It was like, there's nothing, They scored 51 in the first half. It was 51-48 at halftime. So
Crazy.
these MAC games are certainly getting up there. But this is I don't know.
What do you think of Ohio first half, Mitch? Because then we're not facing with the scrubs coming out in that second half, because we know Western Michigan plays a slower game. So if they slow down the speed, especially with the scrubs out in that second half and are able to get that cover, I don't know. I think Ohio should clearly blow them out of the water here, but I like them first half.
Western Michigan does suck. I mean, they absolutely suck.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just terrible, And the thing is, Ohio is really good, and they're looking to get back to, back to the NCAA tournament. There's not going to be an at-large MAC team. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been or there hasn't ever been. I'm not really sure, but generally, it's a one-bid league. And it's going to be Toledo or Ohio, even though Toledo lost last night. It's going to be the winner of the tournament. So it's either Toledo or Ohio, and is my bet. But, there's still a lot to be said here, for Ohio. And I think, I don't know. I think the scrubs are going to see significant time here. So I don't know. I like Ohio. I definitely had them on my list as well. And it's because they scrubbed me out last time. Is why
I like the scrubs here against Western Michigan. I mean, they could bring in the bench, and I think they'll still take care. But I do like the first half. I was going to say I wouldn't even be surprised to see them covering the full spread, the 21 points at halftime, and then bringing in the backups towards the end of the game. So, yeah, I like Ohio first half and then full game as well.
There's a lot of blowouts on the board today, that's for sure. Potential blowouts on the board today. And there's, I think there's some potential upsets and there's some potential blowouts, like every college basketball Saturday. But this one, I mean, this would be, if Western Michigan kept it close, it would be the shocker of all shockers.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely would it be.
They are one of the worst. I think, you have, these bottom feeder teams, and it's like Western Michigan. I believe Central Michigan's in the discussion this year too, right? So you have 2 directional Michigans that are in that discussion, and then Southern Miss is horrid too.
Yeah,
they're absolutely terrible. So, and then there's just some really bad teams.
IUPUI.
Oh, terrible. And Idaho's no good either.
Yeah.
I thought Air Force was really going to be in that discussion too, but they've actually been competitive at times. But they certainly have the potential to lose by 40 or 50 at any
Princeton
given
offense.
Yeah,
it can go either way.
The problem with the Princeton offense, if the ball doesn't go in, you only score 6 points, for the whole game. It's like that is the issue there.
I mean, they're a very good shooting team, and they still don't have great offensive numbers, like efficiency-wise, because they don't. I mean, they turn the ball over so much on those passes.
We're kind of at that point of the season, when you start to look at the statistics and, they bring that up and, so this is kind of, just a different question for you. And we start looking at statistics, and I know you're a game watcher. You look at statistics. You look at, probably more ratings and stuff than I do. You're more of a Ken Palm guy than I am and all that other stuff. I'm more of a game watcher, right? And I think that this is the time of the season where you start to see it, where number one offense and number one defense doesn't mean as much, right? Because it's like, at least what I'm seeing, statistically, because say you have a team that only scores 65 points a game, but they shoot 51% from the floor, right? So it just means that their pace the pace that they play at. And the same thing with defense, right? It's like just because you only give up, 65 points a game doesn't mean you have a good defense. It just, the other teams could still be shooting, 45% against you. It's just the pace of the play. And you could see it jump off the page in a lot of situations. You also see other situations where teams, are good. They win games. They don't cover. We have a few of those, playing in action today. One, the two teams to me that jump off the page there, DePaul and USC. DePaul or Xavier and USC. Xavier does not cover a lot of games. They win a lot of games. And USC, the same thing. They have a stigma where they don't win, but actually they've only lost 3 times all season. And, here they are. Why? Why don't they cover games? It's super. It just jumps off the page, at me. And that's 67.1% from the charity stripe. I mean, that's how you turn. That's how you can't cover a 6-point spread against Arizona State. Right, it's because if you're hitting 67% of your free throws, we saw BYU against San Francisco the other night. 10 of 23 from the line, and we saw George Mason the other day against St. Louis. In overtime, just missed free throw after free throw after free throw. I don't know. This is the time of year where those are the shots, right? I mean, you got to hit those.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when you're looking at like number 1 offense, number 1 defense, I think it's important not to take too much into consideration with points per game and points allowed per game. More so, I look at least adjusted offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency because it takes into consideration just 100 possessions. So it doesn't look at the shot clock or how much time they take. It just looks at 100 plain possessions, what they're doing per possession. So you look at a team like Gonzaga, they're scoring, how many points per game, but they're still only second in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency, just based on how many times they're scoring per 100 possessions. Right now, number 1 is Purdue. So right now, even though Gonzaga I don't know who's scoring more points per game, Gonzaga or Purdue, but right now Purdue is the number 1 offense in terms of that. So you got to look at that. Like a team like Air Force, they take almost the entire shot clock. That their offense is still not great because they turn the ball over too much. Even though they're a very good 3-point shooting team, good 2-point shooting team, their offense isn't highly rated because they just turn the ball over so much. They don't get many offensive rebounds. So, just take some minor stats like points per game and points allowed per game, take those with a grain of salt and try to dig deeper. That's what I do. I rarely look at points per game.
So, we have a little bit of extra time today. So we've got a player at Kentucky, and I can't even pronounce his name correctly, but this guy is the greatest rebounder in the history of the game.
Chibwe.
Yeah, Chibwe, right? He is the greatest rebounder in the history of the game. Statistically, you put him up against, guys like Anthony Davis or, the great of greats, right? And they're not even close to this guy.
He's unbelievable. I think he's right now the best player in the country, in my opinion. I think he's just doing things that we just haven't seen in a long time, and it kind of goes against the grain of what we're used to seeing in the NBA nowadays. Chibwe is just an old-fashioned college hoops
but he also scores,
player.
Right? He's not just a pure rebounder. Like we've seen Dennis Rodman, who was 19 rebounds a game in the NBA, but it's like, I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. I think this is a new player, right? This is a different type of player that we just have never seen before. And this guy really can take over an entire game. And we've seen him do it.
Yeah.
I've never
15 rebounds per game, 16 points per game. This is unbelievable.
I've never seen anything like it before because his rebounding, it's like he wins the tough rebounds and he gets all of the easy rebounds. Right?
Oh yeah.
He wins the tough ones, and so what they say, what they're saying about him, is, and you see him do it, and it's surprising when you see him have this kind of success, and you see how he's doing it. It's amazing that other coaches aren't coaching their players to do the same thing, which is simply using 2 hands when he rebounds. Right? That's all he's doing. Right? Is he's using, when the ball goes up, you watch every single time he grabs it with 2 hands. Every single time. You see these other guys, they try and do the one hand, the tip, whatever. It's like, it doesn't work. This guy, that's why he has so many. He's using 2 hands.
Yeah. He's only 6'9". He's a big guy, 255, but 6'9", to have 15 rebounds per game, that's just unbelievable. That's just talent,
What do you think Bob Huggins is thinking right now?
Oh,
You know?
imagine. I mean, he's a player that makes you a contender right off the bat.
I mean, how do you let this guy get away? You know?
And we all really didn't think much of it. I mean, it was a big loss for West Virginia, but we didn't think it was going to be this big of a loss.
Well, he
I
had
mean,
the
this
big
guy-
game against Baylor last year,
Yeah.
to end the season 16-12. But I don't think anyone saw this coming.
No.
This is something different. Well, anyways, what do you got going on today at PickDawgz?
Yeah, today, keep it on. Hopefully, keep things rolling. Went 3-0 yesterday in college hoops, and seeing the board pretty well in college basketball so far in February. I've got a 5-pack on the site. You can get all 5 plays. The first game starts at 2. The last game starts at 8 p.m. So it's kind of an all-day winning affair. So all against the spread. So check it out, PickDawgz Premium.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
All righty, guys.
Best
Good
of luck
luck.
today, Ron.
Well, Joe, yeah, we've got a lot of great players this year in college basketball, and I knew Romanelli would be all over that, so I just figured I'd serve him up a softball. But I mean, it is something. It's unbelievable to watch. I've probably watched. I don't even know how many college basketball games I've watched in my entire life, and I've never
I
really.
can even imagine.
I've never really seen a player like this before. Maybe Hakeem Olajuwon, maybe Patrick Ewing. Maybe. I don't know. It's like this is like a once in a generation type player that has that skill set, to be able to grab those rebounds like that. It's just, I've never seen
Really
it.
interesting how you say his style. I haven't noticed that, so I'm going to have to go watch that of him grabbing it with the 2 hands.
Always. Every single one, whether it's the little tap off the glass, whether it's the one that he's fighting it down, every single time he uses 2 hands. Every single time. And that's the difference. He does it every single time.
You're right. Why aren't other coaches learning this and treating their players like, come on, guys, 2 hands, let's go.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyways, we don't have a lot of people here today, so we'll bring in Al. Bring in Big Al.
Nice.
Early in the show for the Big Al appearance, but we will bring him in now. And
I'm on the radio, Bernie. I'll talk to you later. Oh boy.
Al, welcome to the show. It's
Hi.
got
My daughter wants to join.
well, it's always welcome on our show. we'll keep it G-rated.
Bernie says yes.
What, honey?
Bernie says yes.
Okay. Well, let me work, and I'll be with you in a few minutes. Okay, honey?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Go see mommy. Okay. So anyway, so let's talk about the Eastern Illinois Southeast Missouri game, because I know you guys wanted to talk about that.
That's the one that jumps off the page. Duke, Carolina,
Duke, North Carolina. Right?
not interested. Baylor, Kansas, who cares?
Right. So on Wednesday, I don't know if you recall, Mitch, but on the Wednesday show, I gave out, or actually it was actually a PickDawgz premium play. It was on Bucknell against Colgate. And it's the same situation here. What you have is you've got a losing team in Southeast Missouri. They're 9-13 on the season. They're 4-5 in conference play. And they're laying double digits at home, even though they've already beaten this team on the road by double digits. And, it's similar in football. You don't want to lay a lot of points with bad teams. And it doesn't matter that they're playing a team that's even worse. And when they've already beaten the team by double digits on the opponent's home floor, they tend to let down on their own home floor, which is the situation today. And this system is 85-37 ATS going back to 1990. And I'm just going to grab the double digits with Eastern Illinois.
Wow, there's like 10 games that fit that thing today, that fit that system.
There's actually only one.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they one on the opponent's floor? And now
you had to have won by double digit, by more than 10 points on the opponent's floor.
All right, so
And you have to be favored
I see.
by more than 10 points
I see.
today.
No, you're right. You're right because
Yeah.
it's I was gonna say Auburn, Georgia, because Auburn they beat Georgia by 23.
Oh,
But that was
you also
at
have to be-
but that was at
you also
Auburn.
you also have to be a losing team.
Oh, well, that takes them out of the equation.
So it's a losing team that won on its opponent's floor by double digits and now is favored on its home floor by double digits. They suck.
Well, I'm gonna have to take your word for it on this one, Joe. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to believe you on this one too. So
You don't want
I
to
was
talk
trying to
about
compute that as you said it.
I don't know that.
Talk about the great rebounder on Eastern Illinois or anything.
No, I think that the issue for me on this one is I'm a game watcher, and I have only seen Eastern Illinois. I have not seen Southeast Missouri State at this point of the season. I saw Eastern Illinois against, I believe it was Murray State they played, right? So that I saw, but I have not seen Southeast Missouri State this year. But generally, a very bad team for most part. Who was it? Yeah, it was the Murray State. They played them back to back and got just absolutely blown out in both halves of it. Is what it was. Eastern Illinois. Yep, I watched that one. 72-46. That was a gem. Nothing better than watching a 72-46 game on an iPad. You ever listen to the announcers on some of those games? It's like it's unbelievable. Not the guys on TV, but I don't know. They're real fans of the game. Wow. So in this one, you're on Southeast Missouri.
No, I'm at Eastern Illinois plus the double digits.
Plus the double digits. So
because they were blown out at home already by this team, and now they're on the road getting double digits.
Oh man, do they stink?
Yep.
They're so bad.
I like taking bad teams.
These guys are really bad. Let's see. Southeast Missouri State got double directional.
Right.
They're not bad. They're not nearly as bad, but they're good. Yeah, they're not good either. That's for sure. That 102-62 game against Belmont, that's got to leave a mark. Full capability. So they beat Eastern Illinois 87-58. They were 7-point favorites in that one on the road. Yeah, 87-50. Oh, my God. Wow. It was 51-32 at halftime. And then they poured it on the second half on them again. All right. I could see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, they're just going to go through the motions. It'll be just like that Bucknell Colgate game, from a couple days ago.
Do you think like a game like this, are there any of these 6-year super seniors in this game that took advantage of COVID? Because these are the kind of games, right? And these are the type of teams where the guys stayed for the extra year, right? Because I thought at the beginning of the year this was going to be the best college basketball season there ever was, and I think it's getting there. I think there's enough teams at the top where it really is going to be that type of year, and I think there's enough teams in that middle that are. I mean, look at the WAC. I mean, no one wants to play one of those teams, right? In the tournament, no one's going to want to play them, and even like Ohio or Toledo, whoever wins the MAC, is looking like a 12 seed in the tournament, so it's going to be that 12-5 game, and it's so. I think a lot of it has to do with these guys that got to stay the extra year because they're saying like if you played, even if you had used up your eligibility, because last year there were no fans in the stands, the COVID and all that stuff, they let everybody stay and play. So you have to watch out for those guys. They're experienced. Kind of a different year.
Yeah. So over at PickDawgz Premium today, I've got 3 plays in the NBA all wrapped up in a triple pack. I've cashed my last 7 triple packs in a row. I've got a triple pack also in college basketball. I've got a 5-game package in college basketball. My last 8 5-packs have gone 27-13 across the 40 plays. And then overall, I've got, I think 15 college basketball plays and 3 in the NBA today.
I like it.
Did you bet the NHL skills competition last night?
I've been working on college basketball. The TV's been off.
It could have been the worst show I've ever seen.
It's not the worst show.
It's not the worst show, but I'll just say it's up there,
I thought they would have done it better in Vegas. I really did.
It's kind of like watching the Hall of Fame game in the NFL. You know, we're kind of like excited to watch it, and then it's like you actually have to sit there and watch it at that point. It might even be worse than that. It was worse than that.
Like the Hall of Fame game.
The best Hall of Fame game was when they canceled it because they painted the logo with the wrong paint. It's like, sorry, we got to cancel the game. The logo was painted incorrectly.
I see Arizona State just got hit.
With what?
Just the Sharps took Arizona State. I don't understand that at all, to be honest with you.
Well, the Sharps have been getting hit pretty hard this season. I think it could be one of the worst Sharp seasons. I wanted to ask you about this, by the way. So these days, the public has more access to supposed betting action, number of bets, money on one side or the other, right? Where people can buy this service, or you can find it for free on a lot of sites, right? But it doesn't seem to be all inclusive, right? It's like, so yesterday we know for a fact, right, that there was a $4.5 million bet on the money line on the Super Bowl. But I looked at a couple of these different, so I went around, right, and I looked at some of these. I hated to give our competitors the click, right, to even look around at some of these sites. I didn't see this in anybody's money moves, where all of a sudden, because $4.5 million bet, especially a week before the game, should show up in statistics as money action on a side. But I did not see that, especially because it's money line. It should definitely show up as a money line action.
It didn't register a blip at all in all the
no
stuff. Look, there's lots of reasons why I don't give a shit about that kind of stuff.
So I show 68% of the money on the Rams and 32% on the Bengals. But I would find that hard to believe a week before the game with a $4.5 million money line bet being made on the Bengals. I just don't see it.
Wow.
Someone told me it was that mattress guy that put a bunch of money down.
It was him. It was him, but it doesn't matter, who it is. He's not a sharp. It's not whatever. No. But it's like, why isn't that bet reflected in
why doesn't that cause a ripple in the numbers? Is what you're saying, basically.
Well, not only does it not cause a ripple in the numbers, but in the reported data from these various websites, we don't have this information on our website because we don't want to show it because we have access to it. We don't want to show it because I don't think there's any value in it right now because I don't think the data is correct. That's what I'm getting at. Is like when I say ripple, I mean like it's like the numbers are static. They don't move even though a guy puts $4.5 million down, right? And we know it for a fact that this happened, right? It's not like a rumor or anything like this. We know for an absolute fact that this bet took place. He did it in $200,000 increments. So you would think that the thing would be moving the whole way as he's going.
Yeah.
That it would be moving. Because that's $1 million should move it. $1 million should.
And
absolutely
who did he put his bet in with this time?
It was Caesars. Caesars took that action. We'll have to see if he can cash out, when he wins. What that's going to look like. But since William Hill runs that operation these days, of course, our friends, but I think they've had some difficulties with the addition of some new states. Anyways, I just thought that was really interesting that none of these reporting things and that they sit that a lot of these sites charge for this information. And whether it be $10 or $10,000, you have to question the accuracy of it. But
at the end of the day, we've talked about this, Mitch. I'm a data guy. When I look at my data and I know that this team's got a plus 8.43 points per differential. Like I know the data is real. I know I can rely on the data. But you can't rely on any of these numbers with who's betting on what. Not that you give a shit anyway, but if you can't rely on the data, then what's the point?
No, I'm with you on that stuff. I'm a game watcher, and I look at this and I see opportunities that way, and that's why my in-game and halftime betting. I mean, I think Joe and I for as bad as my NFL season was, my half times I still ended up plus money, on the year. And it's because of watching the games and observing what's going on in there. But, we show Northeastern with 71% of the money here against Towson. How do we know? How do we know that that's correct? 71% on the money line against Towson as well. It's like, I don't.
Well, I mean, number one, you don't know whether it's correct. And number two, who cares? I mean, because it has no importance with who's going to cover the spread or not cover the spread. I mean, it doesn't matter that 71% is on one side or another.
But I think but the sales that's taking place of the product, right, and of this information, because so one of the big data providers, Sports Data IO, right, who provides this information to most of the places where you guys see it. And if you don't have a website, you can't get it from them, right? Yeah, it's raw data is what you get from them, right? And then you have to hire a tech guy that puts it together in the format that you guys see on these various websites. They're not giving it away for free. Is there some kind of, shouldn't they have some sort of accuracy I mean, to it, or I don't understand it.
Yeah, but if the public hits 50% and 80% of 50% bettors are on one side, it's a 50-50 deal. It doesn't change anything.
No, I understand that, but they're implying that it's sharp action. When the money is bigger on one side, it's implied that it's sharp action on reverse line movements and things of that nature. If the money's going one way and the line's the other way, and
But here's the goofy thing about this idiotic reverse line movement, because the public is 90% of the time on the favorites. So when the sharps take the favorites, it can never be reverse line movement. It's only when the sharps take the underdog. So basically you're saying, I'm never going to care when the sharps take the favorites. We're just going to ignore all of that. We're only going to look at when the sharps take the underdogs, because the public will always be on the favorites generally. So when the sharps have a huge play on a road favorite, it'll never be reverse line movement because the public's on that side. I mean, it's just dumb.
So like South Alabama versus Georgia State, that would be one of those today.
Anyway, I mean, I just hate the term reverse line movement. Just say the public's on an underdog, or the sharps are on an underdog.
But we don't even know if they are, or if they're not, because it's like, I always wonder about the validity of the data. I still don't believe it.
Well, yeah, that's the other issue, is you can't even rely on it because you look at different sources and they have different data. So who the hell knows what it is?
Like say the guy at the corner store, right, who booked action, right, in Brooklyn or something, right? Say he's got a position that he's uncomfortable with, right? But is a regular client, so he's got to take the bet, and he goes and lays off the other side because now he can, right? Or he could have in Jersey for the last couple of years, or he lays it off at his local DraftKings, whatever. Is that, even though it's a big bet, and he's laying off action, actually laying off sharp action. So isn't that kind of like also the same thing where it's like, how do you know? It's almost the opposite. But anyways, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to look at it. I'm not a big believer in that whole thing because I don't think the data is correct. I think when Caesar sends me that email every week, that I believe, but the rest of it, I believe zero of it.
Right. Well, I mean, it's also that there's so much inconsistency in it, right? You look at one, you can look at one source, it says this, it'll say 58%. You go to another source, it says 66%. And
I'm on that Caesars list, and they generally will send it out, but normally it's late, which is fine. But
well,
Anyways,
I don't know.
we could do a whole show on this. I think it's a misconception. And I think I think the more that the data is available, the bigger misconception is, and it's the more I've heard these terms more over the last year or so than I've ever heard, and as long as I've been in the business.
I just remember I looked at it, years ago, probably 2008, 2009 on the Don Best screen. I tracked a couple of years of football and taking a look at when the public was on, 70, 75, 80%. I mean, it was just a bunch of noise. It didn't win, it didn't lose. It was just 50-50 garbage.
Do you think by the time that even if we recognize sharp action and it's true sharp action, that we've missed the number? A good portion of the time, it's like the stock market. You buy the rumor, you sell the news type thing.
I mean, of course. I mean, it's if the numbers moved, it's the value's eroded. So
good stuff.
Anyway.
I think we're in agreement there that it's kind of like you got to handicap the games. That's really what it comes down to.
Mitch, you have to handicap the game and you have to get the best number.
Yep, that's true. Shop the lines and
you have to handicap the games. Get down early. Bet your games at 8 a.m. Don't bet at 6 p.m.
Didn't you say that Jimmy Vaccaro said that the public's edge is being able to shop the games? That's what I think it was.
Not Jimmy. That was it wasn't Jimmy. It was another. He said he put it at 50.1%. I'm trying to think which sportsbook manager told me that. A different one from Pittsburgh. Now I can't think of his name. Chris Andrews. He just said he would put it at 50.1% because you can't shop for lines. You can pick your team, and he thought the public had 50.1%. So. I had a conversation with him. I was asking him, at his sports book, what the exact number was. And he said it was difficult to get the exact number because they put everything in one bucket, so all their data, the money lines, the point spreads, everything's in one bucket. So he can't really tease out the exact precise percentage. But he did say, in his opinion, it was around 50.1% on straight bets.
I'd rather have that 10% that the house gets on all action. I don't see how you can beat that.
But see, Mitch, that's the whole point. Like, there's this misnomer out there. Here's a train of thought. 98% of the public loses, right? So people say, "Oh, I can bet against them and make money," but they lose because they're laying an odd, because they hit 47.62% and below. So you can't make money betting against the public because the public's going to hit 50%. And if you bet against them, you're going to hit 50%. So the whole train of thought is just so flawed.
It's like playing the don't in craps where you think you're on the house side, but they're getting even money and you're paying one to whatever.
I mean, anyway, it just drives me crazy. It's just this myth that you can make money betting against the public. You can't. You have to just bet your own games, get the best number, and know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that as well. And it's like, sometimes the ball's gonna go your way, and sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you get unlucky, and that's all part of it too.
Yeah, I'll let someone else get in on this conversation.
But anyways, thanks for joining us. As always, I enjoy it. It's taking a little bit of a deep dive into a topic I'd say it's a pretty hot topic. These days.
And I'm probably in the minority because I think a lot of people believe in these myths.
Oh, I know they do. I know I'm in the minority with you. I think it's all a load of crap. And I think because there's so many holes in it, in that theory. I mean, aside from it being only 50-50 to begin with, I think the data is bad to begin with. That you can't. Yeah.
I mean, it's multi-layered.
Yeah, you can't verify this data. Then how do you know that it's not like Caesars is giving you access? Like if you had one of the major books, DraftKings, Caesars, or FanDuel, if you had one of those three and you had access to their position on these games, that would be a lot more accurate than what I believe the data that's going around. I don't think that's what we're seeing. Because I don't see that Mattress Mac bet anywhere in this data. I don't believe it. I wonder what the total money line handle is on the Super Bowl right now. I wonder what it is. It can't be more than $10 million. It can't be. Well, I guess it could be.
Yes, it could be.
What's the handle on the Kentucky Derby, like for the actual race? You know, it's like
I used to know that. I don't know. It's got to be
the
a
handle
lot.
on the Kentucky Derby was 40.8 million last year.
I would have thought it would have been more.
So that bet would have been 10% of the entire handle of the Kentucky Derby, which is up there. The handle on the Super Bowl has got to be higher because of all the props and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Sal.
Anyway, with this, we all got started on this when I was saying I thought the Sharks were wrong on the UCLA Arizona State move. If I could just finish that thought, I mean, UCLA is coming off that loss, that big game to Arizona, and I just think they're going to bounce back. I mean, Arizona State, they don't rebound well off losses. They don't play well at home. They're terrible as double-digit dogs. I just don't get why people are rushing to bet Arizona State today. It's not a play for me or anything, but I just don't know why you'd want to go against UCLA off that loss to Arizona.
Yeah, UCLA is a tough customer. I mean, they could. I think Arizona State, people saw them cover against USC, but like we said, USC 67.1% team from the free throw line. Tough to cover as a favorite when that's the case.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Sal.
Thanks, Sal.
Adios.
That was a lot of information there. That was great.
It was.
It was great. I love talking about that stuff because I'm a non-believer. I question it. When I see something, I always question it first, and it's like I need to see the numbers that back it up. And I think with the data that we're getting in relation to betting information, the only data that I can see that I can verify is correct is the odds at the sportsbook. The underlying data I don't believe is correct.
Yeah, it's interesting. I can't believe that bet didn't move lines at all. So it doesn't make sense there at all, Mitch.
No, it's like it does not reflect in the money line or anywhere.
Wow. That's interesting. I wonder if they're trying to manipulate the data in some way.
I'm not sure.
So that people believe it's one way or another.
Well, we've got
I don't know.
Jovan is here. He's been doing a lot of the videos with us.
I'm loving Jovan's videos.
Yeah, it's like he's getting better and better every single one. And it's kind of like he's got his sound fixed. He's all good. It's like, and most importantly, our audience likes him. So that's what I care about.
Oh, they absolutely do.
So, Jovan, welcome to the show. Now we can't hear him.
That's okay.
What's going on? Good morning.
Morning. Looks like you're on the road today.
Nah, it's not that I'm on the road. I couldn't hear anything when I went on Skype, so tried a couple different times, didn't want to mess with it, so I just said, let me go in the car and do this.
All right, we've had a bunch of people do these from cars. I've done them from Target, Costco, you pretty much name it. I've done the shows from there. It's like I've taken the free samples as I'm eating and doing the shows, and the whole thing. It's like all organic. It doesn't taste like it.
Yeah, Jovan, great job on those videos, though. You're killing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
What do you like with today's action? We got a great card of games today. I mean, really have some big games out there. Anything that's jumping off the page at you?
Yeah, I'm going with two of the bigger games. Two of the biggest games there is. I didn't hear what Big Al had, so I don't want to cross with him.
He had Eastern Illinois versus Southeast Missouri State was his game.
Well, not one of the biggest games on the board. You're good.
He liked the blowout on the road now coming back home that they're not going to try as hard. Angle.
Right.
Taking the points with the dog.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna touch on this Duke, North Carolina game, and
I'm trying to hear that.
Hold on.
All right. We might get
Yeah.
copyright infringement on that. So.
Hold on real fast. Might have to do this one. Go to Bitler, please.
All right. Well, I'm going to get a copyright strike on that. We'll see what happens. Anyways, it was accidental, but they strike you just the same. So I'll have to see what happens on that. But anyways, he'll come back. We'll get him back. Anyways, let's bring Brian in. Or Rod is here too. We could do Rod.
Whoever you want.
Let's do Rod. Usually do Brian last.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely good music Jovan was playing. That's what everyone's saying in the comments.
yeah, it was good. It was good. Not my Led Zeppelin, but still a good stuff. Everyone knows I'm musically diverse.
Morning, Rod.
Good morning.
So what'd you think of that skills competition last night? I'm pretty sure you were tuned in. Did you think, what'd you think? I thought it was disappointing.
It was awful. Like, why are we standing in a fountain shooting the puck? How does that represent the NHL in any fashion whatsoever? Ooh, you can shoot a puck into a bucket in a fountain? What?
They're just trying to show off Vegas, right? They're trying to just highlight Vegas.
Awful. It was awful. Even the players, you could tell they were standing there and they're going, "This is pretty awful." Eh? You can see them talking with each other under their breath, and you read some lists, and I'm sure I seen one guy say, "This is awful."
See, I wasn't watching it that close to read lips.
So it's got just stick with the basics. People like that's what you need to see. They're trying to. I know maybe is it because it was in Vegas? They're trying to make it more like because Vegas is more entertainment. They trying to put on a show. Well, hockey players. The one guy couldn't even announce Metropolitan Division, in the bit. There was a magic show bit.
The bit was terrible. The bit was.
Oh, I missed that. What happened?
Oh my God,
the bit was awful because. What the bit, like he was like, oh, you made it seem like, that I had this set. But what they didn't show, right? Because didn't he pick a card and then the card showed Metropolitan? Yeah. But they didn't show that all the cards didn't say Metropolitan, right?
Right.
That's the part they didn't show, right?
They didn't show, yeah.
Right. It was like they showed that the sticks said different things inside, right? But they didn't show that all of the choices that he had were all Metropolitan, right? They never showed that they had all of the different divisions on those cards, right? So it was like, it was kind of like, oh, so it was fixed that it was Metropolitan. It was so weird, right? It was like such an awkward bit.
Right? I'm like, we're doing a magic bit with cards on the ice,
but it wasn't magic. There was no magic because they didn't. It would have been magic if they would have shown. We have one card that's Metropolitan, one that's I don't even know the divisions. One's that's this, one's that's this, right? And then they shuffle them up, and then he picks one. That's not what they did. They had 3 sealed envelopes, and then acted like he picked. But they didn't say that any of the other envelopes. They didn't open them up and show that they had the other divisions in it. They all had Metropolitan.
Right, that's exactly what.
No, that's exactly what happened. I mean, how hard is this?
Like, I totally missed this. So I'm gonna have to go watch.
How hard is this? I mean, how hard is this? It's like. So basically, Joe, who are you gonna play? Who are you gonna play in the All-Star game? Right? Like, this is like anyone really cares anyway, right? And they make like this whole big presentation about this, right? And they have the mascots out there, like for what reason? We don't know, right? And
Yep.
so, I mean, it's just none of it makes any sense or like has any kind of game plan, right? It's just totally aimless. And right, and this guy's supposed to be like a Vegas entertainer, and he has like that Vegas entertainer voice, but he's got nothing to work with here, right? I mean, he's got nothing to work with. So they say, okay, pick one out. You know, pick an envelope out, and this will be who you're playing tomorrow. Right? So they open the envelope, and it's Metropolitan, right? Is who they're playing. Vegas is the guy that picks.
Well, after
right?
after he took the card over, he went to the magician and goes, "Here, can you read this for me? Because I can't read this." And the magician had to say, "Oh, that's the Metropolitan. Oh, okay, Metropolitan Division." And it was
Right,
like,
right.
That
So they're playing the Metropolitan Division, right? So then they tell the Vegas mascot to break his stick in half. And inside, he has like a scroll. And they open up the scroll and he says, I predicted that they'd be playing the Metropolitan. And he opens the scroll and says, he will pick Metropolitan. Then the other ones all say the same thing. Like they say, oh, you must have, what you're going to say is that all three of these mascots inside their sticks, it says that he picked us, right? But they all say that he picked Metropolitan, right? He opened up and says, he will pick Metropolitan. He will pick Metropolitan. But they don't show that the initial cards were the three separate things. They were all Metropolitan. I mean, it's kind of like...
So it was thrilling for 8-year-olds. 8-year-olds were like, yay!
Yeah. It's kind of like if you had a handful of pennies, you know, and said, I have all different kinds of coins in my hand, you know, and then you pick it out. And it's like, here's the thing. I said, I knew he was going to pick a penny. Yeah, because they're all pennies. It's like...
Oh, that is bad.
It was hideous.
It was just hot. I was like, wow, did this All-Star game just go downhill?
They should have the hardest hit. They should have that, the hardest hit. Hardest check into the boards.
There was so much going on in Vegas. I wonder if they just kind of put the NHL stuff to the very bottom.
I don't know.
There was 4 different major events this weekend.
But then if you've ever seen you know what it reminded me of? It was when the NHL gives out their awards at the end of the year. That show was just awful too.
Well, the ESPYs. The ESPYs
the comedy
is the
ready. It's just awful. Oh yeah, that's just the same.
The ESPYs is unwatchable television.
Oh, it's just awful.
It's terrible, right?
Somebody makes a joke and you're like, well, I got dead silence.
Well, the ESPYs is like best team. It's like, it's the something softball team. All right. Who cares? Who voted? You know, it's like, I don't even know what the hell. What watch? Why am I watching this? Oh, because we're in the middle of the Major League Baseball All-Star break and there's absolutely nothing else on as far as sports. Oh. It's like it's a good time to catch up on your recorded programming. Anyways.
And there was no real winner in the goalies. We both had the same goalies. We said, Joe had Vasilevsky and I had
Jack Campbell, didn't you?
Jack Campbell, and they both won.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, but
even Jack Campbell with that music.
Do you think the guys? I didn't hear any music.
Yeah.
Did you hear any music?
No.
Well, I had my own music on, so I wasn't paying attention.
But
Rod, did you hear the music?
No, I tried, and I didn't.
Yeah.
The crowd and the talk over and the banter, I didn't hear any music in the background. I was trying to hear it, and I was like, I didn't see it or hear it. It was like, wow, this isn't good.
No, it was not a good show.
This was awful. I'm like, this doesn't represent the NHL at all. I'm like, this is awful.
Well, what do you got going on today for us?
Well, today we're going to go with we're going to take the Memphis Grizzlies here over the Magic. So no Magic dances today. You look, this is Grizzlies team over the last 3 games. They're averaging 115 points a game, and look at this Magic team. They're above their average. They're averaging 105 points a game over their past 3 when they average about 101 points a game. You know, this Memphis team, they are 6-0 ATS their last 6 games versus a team with a losing record. They're also 15-4 ATS their last 19 games on the road. Well, this Magic team, they get themselves a nice ATS win, get close, get into a cover, and then they just fall apart. They're 10-21 ATS following a straight up win. They're also 8-23 their last 31 home games. Take Memphis. Double-digit blowout here. Even if John Morant doesn't even play. It's questionable that he plays in this one. And even if he doesn't play, we know Memphis can play even better defense than what they normally do when he's not in there. So take Memphis. Lay the points.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm with you here. You know, you look, the Grizzlies have struggled in Orlando, but there's no way they're going to lose to the Magic today and not get this cover. They're just too strong of a team and what they're doing versus what the Magic are doing. But Magic aren't winning or covering at home like overall this season. 5-18 straight up at home, 7-16 against that spread. Can't put any money with the Magic. Give me the Memphis Grizzlies. And the over in this one, I think we're going to see a faster pace one. How about you, Mitch?
I could see Memphis blowing them out of the building here. It just seems that it's one of those things where it's like there might be a segment of the betting population that's kind of like, well, the world is on Memphis, too easy and all that stuff. Well, sometimes it's better to just pick up the money on the ground.
Yeah.
You know.
Agree with you. Can't miss that money. Even the pennies.
Right? Find a penny, pick it up all the day. You have good luck.
Absolutely. That's
Metropolitan. What is that, man?
Oh, man.
How are you guys doing? I'm freezing. How's it going? I'm freezing out here. It's like,
Even
and then,
the old mascot
and the whole
fight
thing,
would have boosted the ratings.
the whole thing is, after they lose, they got to stand there still because they don't have any like way to exit. So they're still standing there out there on this raft in the middle of the pond in Bellagio, you know.
We have to wait.
No chairs, no bar stool, no nothing. You stand there.
Shoot this glowing puck.
So how about the goalies? Like in the goalie competition, it was like, you think the guys were actually trying to score? Because normally I would think that that's a 90%er, you know, that those guys score and the goalie's on a breakaway. No?
No, less than that.
Really?
Yeah, that's less than that.
What is the
I
average?
think they're 90%ers. If you're hitting 90%, you're the guy going to be in every shootout going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's less than that. 90 seems a little high. I'm gonna say probably in
But we
60s.
saw like much less than that.
Yeah, because how much effort are they really exerting? Are they really exerting game time? We gotta win this game type effort, or is it? It's more NHL looks more like it's a relaxed family weekend, family get together. So it was like a family trip to Vegas because there were players' kids on the ice. It was just like a big old family get together is what it reminded me of. Than an all-star game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those guys play today. So.
Like I don't even know how do they pick them anymore. It used to be that each home rink would have their own little mini all-star game, and they would do their own hardest shot and their accuracy shot and that stuff. They would do their own type of version. And then the home crowds would get up, and then you'd get your winner that way and send them to the all-star game. But I don't even know if they do that anymore. I think they just randomly pick who goes. I think you're allowed to submit a player from your team. So many, that's it.
Yeah, and then there's a fan vote.
And then the fan votes, for the bigger name guys.
So most of the players go with the wrist shot for shootout goals, and the most popular is low to the blocker side.
Yes, definitely.
This is what the statistics say.
Harder to get
or high to the glove.
Or high to the glove, yeah.
Either one of those.
Because most of these goalies these days drop to their knees.
Yep.
Who's coming close? Drop to their knees.
Distance from the net. Crease to the hash marks.
Your hardest shot was McInnes is number 2.
If you gave him today's equipment, I'm sure he'd be number 1.
He got to be Chara, big Zdeno Chara. He holds the record, 108.8, I believe. 108.8 miles per hour was his recorded shot. Since they started recording them. And McDavid finally lost. They had some young guy come out, been the fastest skater. That's the only ones that's what I was interested in. The actual skills. Not I don't know what that other junk was.
I don't know what was going on in that game.
I don't know what was going on there either. It was like
too many events and none of them were good. Anyways, what do you got going on today at PickDawgz?
Over at PickDawgz today, I got an early college basketball 5-pack, and then I got a 3-pack for the night games on a nice 8-3. We're running college hoops there. And I got an NBA 3-pack as well. 2-1 yesterday in the NBA. We keep it rolling there. So whatever you like. You got a 5-pack, a 3-pack, and a 3-pack over at PickDawgz Premium.
All right. Well, we'll see you in just a few minutes for the VIP show.
See you soon, Rod.
Thanks.
All right. That was Rod. Disenchanted, as I figured he would be with the it was all set up, you know. It's like I knew anyone that likes NHL had to have hated that skills competition. I mean, terrible. It was not a good thing for the sport. We're gonna try Jovan again. Let's see if we can get him without the music this time. Not that we don't like.
Sure, he's got it all worked out.
It's not that we don't like the music. Just I think it's against the copyright.
YouTube doesn't like the music.
No, they don't. How you doing, Jovan?
I'm fine.
So, where do we leave off? We had said that Big Al had done Southeast Missouri State, Eastern Illinois. So
We were just about to talk about this Duke and North Carolina game, and this is one of the greatest rivalries in sports. Across all sports, it doesn't get much better than this from a college basketball or just a national standpoint. Now, this is of course Coach K's swan song, his last game in Chapel Hill, and he's gonna want to go out with a bang. But North Carolina, they have a lot to say about that. And with this one, by the numbers, it looks like North Carolina's not doing what they usually do, which is high scoring, but they do play good defense. One of their staples is they rebound the ball very well. That's just what they do. They always have long, tall, lanky guys. And Duke, on the other hand, they're phenomenal. 5-star recruits. Paulo Bachero, he's doing his thing. He's a one and doneer. But and if you look at the numbers, if you peel back the numbers, what you see is that UNC at home, when they play Duke, they usually cover. They've covered the last 5 games in Chapel Hill, and they're 12-0 this season at home. And not only that, the home team is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings. So there's more stats and trends than that, but that basically sums it up. UNC for the cover.
Joe, do they give Coach K a huge standing ovation and big round of applause there at the Dean Dome, and then it's the gloves are off, or is it just business as usual? I think that's what.
I don't know. They might.
I think they might. I think they might.
I think
Jovan, what do you think? You think they give them the big standing O and or do you think they just, because it's not like they like each other.
No, they hate each other.
Yeah. But it is a respect thing. It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it is a respect thing. But I would say, yeah.
I think they will. I think they will. I think it will be like a very special moment. And then gloves are off. I mean, we'll see the normal Duke Carolina.
2 seconds later.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's less than 2 seconds. It'll be kind of like.
Yeah. What was that, Mitch? Do it again. That was so fast. There you go. I like it. I can see it in this one. I like the under in this game as well. I think we got both defenses coming out nice and strong and playing it a little bit safe to start off. So give me the under too.
I think Carolina money line here against Duke. I just think that Carolina, what we've seen is them getting absolutely bludgeoned on the road at Miami and at Wake Forest. So it's kind of like that sort of stuff leaves a mark and leaves an impression. But the thing is, we've seen Duke beat a few times as well. And it kind of like maybe it just seems a little bit less. But Carolina, actually, their overall record is not bad. And at home, they're undefeated. And, this is the type of there are certain rivalries that you say, oh, you could throw the record book out the window, and you can't really throw the record book out the window, right? But this is one that you really can throw the record book out the window, and history shows it that the home team owns the series, and I look for Carolina to win this one outright. I'm with you.
Like it.
What else you got going on?
I'm also going to touch on another big game, Gonzaga at BYU. Now, these two teams play usually two of the best teams. Well, we already know Gonzaga's the best team in that conference. But BYU, they usually 2 or 3. It's either them or St. Mary's. That's either 2 or 3 as far as the West Coast Conference. But with them, they've lost their last 3 games, and they picked a fine time to start losing because Gonzaga's coming in this game pushing 90 points per game. So BYU, they can't score like that. They're not like past BYU teams where they're putting up 80 themselves. They're only averaging about 73 points per game, but they do play good defense. That's one thing that they can hang their hat on. But Gonzaga plays good defense. So it's like, where do you go? Now, with this game, what you usually see is, as far as the series, you usually see a blowout from Gonzaga, or you see the line or the final score hover around 10, 11, 12, 13 points. The last time BYU did beat Gonzaga was, I believe, in 2020. But that was 2020. That was a year where Gonzaga was kind of they were still good, but it was before last year. Last year they went and made their Final Four run, and this year they're stacked also. And I just don't see BYU being able to keep pace with Gonzaga in this one. So I'm expecting a 16 to 20 point win by Gonzaga.
Joe, BYU's free throw performance against San Francisco the other night was about as bad as it gets. I had BYU in that game, and it was just every time they just shot from the free throw line, I just thought, boy.
Yeah, they just kept missing. They couldn't get it in, save their lives.
Brick fest. It was just, it was a tough watch.
Yeah, and I think Jovan, you're right here. I think Gonzaga just runs away with this one. I think they are by far the better team, and with how much they're scoring, they're gonna have a great time in this game. So give me Gonzaga laying all those points as well.
Yeah, I think the line looks light as well. I think, we saw a few years ago BYU beat Gonzaga in this matchup, and I think, so Gonzaga certainly not going to take it lightly, and I expect them to come out. And we've seen Gonzaga. It's kind of there's a couple teams that have this thing, and it's like it seems they get into this mode, and we see Villanova do it under Jay Wright. All the Villanova teams under Jay Wright do it, and we see Gonzaga do it too, where it's like they'll go through a sequence over 3 or 4 minutes where the net never moves, but they put about 25 points on the board. And it's like, it's the most unbelievable thing because the balls are like flying through the air. And if I have it on the top TV and I'm in the kitchen, I'm not sure if it went in or not, because it's just an unbelievable thing to see. And it's like the net doesn't even move, right? It's like, and I think Gonzaga can do that. And I don't think BYU can answer it.
No, not at all.
I don't think so neither. Not this BYU team.
No, they don't. This is not a high-scoring BYU team. This is a defensive BYU team, and I don't think defense is going to work all the way against Gonzaga. I think you have to have offense too, like Baylor did last year in the championship game, and like Alabama did to them earlier this season in Duke. Well, what do you got going on at PickDawgz today?
I have 2 separate 3-packs, both college basketball. I have a 2:00 one, all 2:00 games. So you could pick that up. That's the earlier one. And then I have a primetime 3-pack. So both $39.99. Catch it at PickDawgz. Go on the website. Check it out. It's all there.
All right. Well, we'll catch you tomorrow as usual.
Absolutely.
Best of luck today, Jovan.
You as well.
Thank you.
That was Jovan. If you haven't checked out his videos, I highly recommend it. I think, bringing more people on the videos and having, Brian and Jovan and Ron Romanelli and Ruffalo kind of mixing them up a little bit. I think gives everybody a little bit more to work with than just me on the videos. I know a lot of people say in the comments, "Where's Mitch? Where's Mitch?" Well, I'm here. You know, I haven't gone anywhere.
I have seen those comments.
Yeah,
it's like he's on the other video.
Yeah, I'm on the other video. It just gives me a little bit more time in the day, you know, to do other things because we have a lot. You know, I know it seems like it everything just happens by itself. It's not really the case. So I'm still one person at the end of the day, and you know, doing those videos, they don't just happen. You
haven't worked out how to clone yourself yet, Mitch?
No, it doesn't. Doing the videos doesn't just happen either. You know, that's a whole nother process within itself. As you know, there's the editing part of it. There's there's the whole everything that goes with it. So, you know, there's the shooting of the video, the editing of the video, the loading of the video, the posting of the video.
It's not just 10 seconds there.
Nope, and it's not a one-person job.
No. But talking about something else you're going to be doing, you guys go follow our Instagram. Mitch is giving out his dog of the day over there.
I'll be doing it after our VIP show today. I'll shoot the dog of the day, and I'm sure it'll be
PickDawgz YouTube or PickDawgz Instagram.
PickDawgz Instagram. I'll be doing the dog of the day though back again. So I know for many years I did it on Sports Chat Place, but we'll do it on the PickDawgz Instagram. See who we got next.
It's gonna be great.
I think El Nino showed up, right?
Yeah, he did.
All right, so we'll bring him on. Let's see, where is he? Welcome aboard, El Ninos. How you doing?
Thank you. Doing good. How are you?
Good, man. You look like a clean cut look there with the collared shirt. You're kind of clean shaven, collared shirt. He's got his hair brushed. It's, I don't know. You got a job interview? What's going on here?
No, I'm just waiting on my new washing machine. It's gonna take them a while to get them here, so running out of regular shirts. Gotta go fancy.
True honesty right there.
It's like, I got this one for Christmas.
Gotta bust it out again.
It's like ripping the tags off, you know. It's like
no, it's actually an old one.
Well, how are things going at PickDawgz these days? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, it's been almost a week, Mitch, but it's been okay over on the PickDawgz. I mean, starting to climb back up. Started off this year a little slow first couple of days, but been doing much better since, and coming off a 2-2 day, but had a couple good days before that. So looking for a big one today. A lot of good college basketball games today. So my biggest college basketball card of the year so far. So hoping for a big one today.
Nice. Well, what do you got for a free pick for everybody?
Looking at some NBA here. We hope you guys haven't looked at this game yet. The Suns and the Wizards.
No, it's all yours.
It's you.
Okay, so we got the Suns here headed to Washington after losing 124 to 115 in Atlanta. They're the much better team, and well, despite having more injuries on that injury list, their main guys are healthy. With DeAndre Ayton was their most recent big injury. He's back in the lineup, and I think they're just a much better team when he's there. They've got obviously two of the better guards in the league, but having a good center to round that up is always nice. Just one injury for the Wizards, but it's a big one. They'll be without their best player, Bradley Beal here. They did manage to pull the upset off in Philadelphia without him, but I just don't see them pulling two upsets off in a row. They are getting 8 points here. It's a pretty big spread. I usually don't like laying this many this many points in the NBA, but or actually not in many sports at all. But I think the Suns come out here will try to come back off that loss and have a big game here and double-digit win for them. So laying the points with the Suns here.
Joe?
Yeah. I'm with you on this, Al. I think it's the only way to take this. I think the Suns are just phenomenally the stronger team, and I don't think the Wizards have a chance. The last time these two teams played, the Suns beat them by like 20 points, just completely blew them out of the water. So only laying 8 here on the road against this Wizards team, I like it. So I don't think the Wizards can keep pace with them. What do you think, Mitch?
Wizards all day and twice on Saturday. 11 money line and spread in this game. Wizards, according to the betting tools, which are straight fire, wins as home underdog versus the Pacific Division 4 in a row for the Wizards, and also covering the spread as home underdogs versus the Pacific 4 in a row as well for the Wiz. I'm going to take the Wiz here, getting almost plus 300 here on the money line, and of course my 8 points also.
Plus 300 on that money line? Wow.
And the betting tools like them.
I know.
And El Ninos is on the other side.
Like them,
it's a
and I did
magical
not see
combination.
Like, damn, betting tools.
Dare I take out the penny? Oh, I dropped it.
The betting tools are on it. That makes me feel kind of nervous. But
and El Ninos is on the other side. And the lucky penny says Wizards.
Oh, too funny.
I guess it's Joe and I against
Guess
the
you're in
world,
some
man.
deep doo-doo on this one.
We'll see what happens. Us against
It's the
penny.
shirt, Al. It's the shirt.
Must be.
Anyways, what do you got going on at PickDawgz today?
As I said, my biggest college basketball card. I got 5 plays there, but 3-pack in each sport. So if you want to get all the plays, obviously get a long-term pass or pair me up with the other favorite capper.
All right. Wow. It's inspirational. Thanks for joining us. Always fun. Always a good time with Al Ninos.
Yeah, always a good time. All right, have a good weekend, guys.
All the best, Al.
All right. We got one more guest left, and that's going to be Brian, I believe, right?
Yep.
In the green room. All right, Brian, welcome to the show.
Oh, glad to be here. I guess I better get to my game because it goes off at 12. I don't want to leave anybody off of this one.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, what a great game to start off a super day of college basketball. And this just might be the feature game of the day. National TV game on Fox. Both teams come in off losses.
Who is it?
UConn drop. We got UConn matching up
Who's playing? That always helps. It's like
UConn and Villanova. I believe is the best game in the card today, as far as a viewing standpoint goes. As far as what I want to see, I'm looking forward to UConn Villanova. Both teams come in off shocking losses here. UConn dropping one to Creighton, and Villanova losing on the road to Marquette. Looks like heavy action here on the home team, Villanova. UConn has been lights out as a road cover team, 12-5-1 ATS last 18 road games. And the Huskies also perform well versus the good home teams. Huskies 14-5-1 last 20 versus a home team with a winning home record. Road team in this series has dominated 7-1-2 against the spread last 10 meetings. And the underdog has also done well in this series, going 6-2-2 ATS last 10. So for me, I'm going to take the points and the Huskies here. Keep it within a possession with Villanova.
Joe?
I think this is a hard game. We've got two really good defenses, but both teams have strong offenses here as well. We got Villanova averaging 72.5 points and UConn putting up 78.2, but Villanova definitely has the edge defensively. I don't know, you guys. I could see the defenses controlling this matchup. I kind of lean to that under 129. Mitch, what do you like here?
I like UConn also against Villanova. I agree with Brian on this one. I just think it's probably going to be a pretty tight game. Two good teams going at it. Not one that I'm betting. That's for sure. It's just, I think we could see it going, a number of different ways. And it's just, I think with the card this size, there's just games that I like better.
I think we could see this one go to overtime. I don't know if there's an overtime prop for this game, but it wouldn't shock me if we saw an extra session of overtime here.
So Brian, you're a money watcher and a public watcher and all those sort of things, and the line movement and all that other stuff. So why wasn't Mattress Max 4.5 million bet reflected in any of the softwares that are readily available to the average bettor in public?
I'd love to know who he was on.
He's on
Do we even
Cincinnati.
know?
It was on ESPN, Cincinnati money line. He put $4.5 million on the money line, but it's not reflected in the numbers. The numbers on the most widely used ones did not budge as far as betting percentages. And a $4.5 million bet would certainly move the needle at least 1%, if not 10 or 20 or 30% or more.
I think I can remember in years past when I think he normally takes the points or bets against the
No,
points.
it was on ESPN. He took Cincinnati Bengals money line, and it's not reflected. It's not reflected in the numbers. It's right, but I'm just saying, why isn't it reflected in the numbers, and how can we trust this data?
No idea why it isn't reflected this year.
And why can't
I know in past years I think he has moved lines when he's placed bets.
But I'm not talking about lines. I'm talking about in the readily shown public percentages and bet numbers. That are being reported by most of the major softwares. Why wouldn't that bet show up? And how can we trust that data?
Well, I don't think you can fully trust the data. I think it's just a sample, something you can use to.
But you would say a sample that excludes a $4.5 million bet is kind of it's a useless sample, no?
Just like a poll, if you ask 100 people something or 1,000 people something, it's just a poll.
Yeah, but that's more of a random poll of 100 people is a lot more reliable than something that is missing. It'd be like if you did a poll of 100 people and took away 70 of the votes.
Yep, I have no clue.
And called it a poll of 100 people.
No clue why it wasn't represented. You would think that's a large chunk of money for sure.
You would think that it would be in there.
For sure.
You should 21% of the money on the money line at this point from the most popular tools in this area. And I would think a $4.5 million bet would reflect that more than that is on that side. Anyways.
Yeah, definitely feels like they're trying to manipulate the information to us.
Yep. Anyways, what do you got going on today at PickDawgz?
I haven't had a 5-pack in a couple of weeks, but I got my fantastic Sharp Dominator 5-pack, all college basketball plays. You can pick that up for $50 at PickDawgz.com premium picks. But like I said, that goes off at 12. My best play in the board is my pound zone play, and that's a nice evening play. It's my best bet of the day, college hoops. $30, PickDawgz.com premium picks. If you're not signed up for YouTube VIP, make sure you are. Definitely a good value.
All right. That was Brian Bittler.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Villanova versus UConn.
UConn.
Anyways, Joe, that wraps up another Saturday morning here. We call it the after football effect. I guess we're gonna soon. We're gonna have a couple months where it's gonna be just baseball. Those are gonna be some fun shows.
Going to be thrilling.
Yep, we've got the Winter Olympics coming up, and we've got, of course, NBA runs for a while longer, and basketball, college basketball, about 2 months left, 1 month left in the season, and then the tournament, which it gets super watered down in a hurry. And so such is life, and then we come back and it's fall all over again.
I know it's going to come in a blank. That's for sure.
It sure does. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Joe, always a pleasure to spend my Saturday mornings with you. And of course, we're going to be doing this every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to join us. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Make it a winning day. Aloha. Ahui ho.